Hey viewers, welcome to VL Astrology. Once again, I'm Vanita Lenka. I'm a Vedic astrologer. Please pardon me because the dates are wrong on the, on the thumbnail. It's 15th of June till the 16th of July. The sun is going to be in Mithun, that is Gemini. It's a Mithuna Sankranti, and many things are going to be happening this month, and we are going to be discussing that. And I welcome Ashwin today to my channel again because we'll be discussing mundane as well as 12 signs readings today. Welcome, Ashwin.
Thank you so much for having me again. It's always fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here, making time. And we are very, very sorry about the incident that took place yesterday, the air crash and all. We'll not be discussing the planetary combinations today. It's insensitive, highly, highly insensitive to discuss after the event has taken place, though we have been talking about it, that these kinds of incidents can happen. But, everybody has their own destinies to play out. And just one thing that I was not happy about was that why the aerodrome area, was having so many buildings in and around. That was the only thing which troubled me the most. And at least it could have been averted if, or maybe, the loss would have been a little lesser. The intensity would have been lesser if there were no buildings in and around the aerodrome area. That is the only thing, maybe the pilot would have landed well, whatever. Like, we are astrologers, we know that it's all karmic. And that is why, we should all say thank you every minute. What do you think, Ashwin?
Yeah, I think it's a very unfortunate tragedy. Like, I don't know what went wrong. I mean, no one knows.
No one
As
knows.
citizens of India, I think there should be a real investigation that should take place, because close to 250 people losing their lives is one of the biggest tragedies in recent times
Absolutely.
that we have seen. And I think the Prime Minister has already visited the location today, and he's taking charge of what is happening, gauging as to what is happening. But I hope such incidents are kind of eliminated in the future, because in such a very technologically driven and a very savvy world, I think we have to kind of bring in some measures to avoid loss of lives that is going for waste. So it's a big tragedy, and I couldn't kind of come out of it since yesterday. It's especially like hearing some stories about people who lost their lives. It's heart-wrenching. So my thought is, what else can be said? It's just karmic. As you mentioned, there is nothing that we can do
As
about it.
astrologers, we can say that, but the people who have lost
common
their
man,
lives,
that is insensitive in a way for them.
So the as we say, the life goes on, and we have to do our bit, our karma. So we're going to be updating you the exact combinations when Sun is going to be transiting Gemini sign. And I hope you all can see the chart that I'm sharing here with the Sun at 0 degrees in Gemini sign. So this is the chart of New Delhi, India, and we'll be discussing. So wherever you are, you can simply shift change the time zone as per the time zones, and you will get your placed horoscope when Sun is at 0 degrees in particular zone. So it could be that you have a different lagna rising at that time, but Sun will be in Gemini, wherever your rising sign, wherever your place is. So it will change. But the planetary positions will not. Sun will be conjunct Mercury and Jupiter. Sun will be in trine to Rahu. That is something which is very precarious again. We'll be discussing that as well, Ashwin, this time. And we have Mars and Ketu 3 places away, which is ruled by Sun. So this is the horoscope. And in the 10th house, we have a Saturn. And in the 8th house from Sun, we have Moon that day. When Sun Sankranti, Mithuna Sankranti is happening. And on the 22nd June, Sun transits Ardhara Nakshatra, and on the very same day when Mercury transits Cancer sign. And Jupiter is Combust, and 23rd June, Jupiter and Sun will be at the exact degrees, and this will be deep combustion. And Punarvasu transit is going to be taking place on the 6th of July. So till that time, we are having Ardhara new moon also on the 25th June, and it's going to be transiting Ardhara on the 22nd of June, as I said. 9 July, Jupiter rises and combustion after 27 days is over. Okay, so we have on the 10th of July, but before that, we have a new moon, which is in Ardhara on the 25th, rainstorms, death, global mourning. And that's the darkest lunar day because it will definitely be not that great for traveling purposes, any which ways. So, Ashwin, you want to explain the horoscope first, or how do we go about it, as you say?
Yeah, I think we can talk about every factors simultaneously.
Step by step we'll go. So this is happening on the 15th of June when Sun transits through the zone of Gemini, correct? So this is Sun when enters the Gemini sign. Gemini is the sign of communication, and it is going to be giving the Mithuna Sankranti is going to be there. So it is definitely going to be triggering intellectual space ruled by Mercury's and trine to Rahu in Aquarius is unpredictable alliances that we can come across. And then there are digital surges also we can experience with this transit. What do you have to say? Take over, Ashwin.
So, for me, that Sun in Gemini in the first house, it's basically the stature or condition or the nature in terms of how we place ourselves as a nation. So that is one thing, because Sun is the natural significator of administration. So the government's visibility and the visibility of the leadership, it's also going to go up, and we might see I mean, there is also the other part that is a double-edged sword, which we will talk about anyway. But I just feel like somehow Sun in the first house kind of indicates how we are going to project ourselves as a nation on an international platform. And with the, I mean, after this Pahalgam tragedy, we had a series of attacks that we did, and after that, we have this different teams of delegation led by Dr. Shashi Tharoor that has traveled across the world, especially in Latin America, where India has expressed or stabilized their position in terms of why we have attacked the terror bases in Pakistan. So that itself has kind of shifted the position in terms of geopolitical advantage that we have as a nation, and we are already kind of riding on a high. Some people say that no country has supported India openly, but they don't understand what is going on in geopolitics, and there is a lot that is going on behind the scenes, and it is difficult for any country to kind of take a place or take a stance with two nations, especially with a lot of geopolitical stakes involved. So it took a lot of time for people to take actual stance with Russia, Ukraine, and all those things happened. But in the same way, it's not going to kind of this was not an actually full blown war. It was just an exchange of military conflict over the 2, 3, or 4 days time. So we cannot expect anyone to kind of take a stance. So, but India has already established its position very well, and I think we are kind of consolidating on the position with Sun and Gemini as a nation. And on the other hand, you mentioned that Gemini's communication, which is obvious, and there is going to be a lot of information flow that is going on in and out, which will be about the nation. And obviously, because Rahu is placed in Aquarius in trine to Gemini, and also in the ninth house, there is going to be a lot of fake news as usual. So it's going to increase the rise of fake news and this body double or fake double using the AI. All these things are going to increase, and it's going to kind of shut us down. Because of such illusion based social media activities that are going on. And I suppose there will be some kind of issues, or not necessarily issues, but something that goes on related to commerce, trade, and transportation, we may have a major information or a news coming out saying that India has signed so and so deal or with some country, be it import or export, and there would be some kind of a transformation in terms of how we transport something related to import and export. So all those things will go on, and commerce and trade will obviously will be a major part of during this particular month, where we will see some breakthroughs. If you follow business news or import and export news, I think you will be kind of having a lot of exposure to that as to what is happening over the next 1 month. And diplomacy is a major thing because when communication is involved, we cannot really take diplomacy out of equation. And Jupiter is the natural ruler of the ninth house, and we can have news about something coming out or some diplomatic activities that are going on. And maybe with Mercury there, as I mentioned, there could be some form of a treaty or agreements that kind of could take place, especially with Mercury moving into uh, Cancer. We could see some water treaties that might kind of come up. It's not uncommon with Mercury in Cancer and water treaties coming up. It is quite natural, and there could be some you know flare up regarding some debates or education related issues might flare up, and people would be not necessarily agitated, but people would be kind of involved in heated discussions or debates around those things, because Gemini is again indicative of education or communication or languages and so on and so forth. So as I mentioned, for me the most important thing is the adaptability that we have as a nation on the global platform, and how intellectually we are kind of carrying ourselves with a little bit of cleverness, because Mercury is involved with cleverness, and Mercury in Gemini indicates some kind of clever attitude. And we can also be adaptable. I think India has shown its immense potential to be adaptive to the global geopolitical environment, and we did not take a stance until the end with Russia and Ukraine. So I think India has been very rigid on some places, but also adaptable in various places, because India is one of those countries where uh, who, which can go and have conversations with the US and also with Russia. And India can go and have conversation with Russia, and they can go and have conversation with Ukraine. So I think India has proven its adaptability over the past 2 or 3 years, but I think there will be a lot more that is coming up as far as Sun and Gemini is concerned. Information technology, IT related matters, and I mentioned diplomacy. So all these things might come up, developments or derailment in IT related environments, AI. So we might see some job losses or more whatever we call as layoff in the IT industry or something like that, or maybe any other industry as well, because Saturn is placed in the 10th house, and Saturn has no dignity in Pisces. Saturn functions poorly in water signs. So that is one of those things which might cause problems related to employment. And I think as far as the leadership is concerned, Sun is placed in the first house, natural significator of leader. I think Mr. Modi is going to carry his own charisma without any doubt for this month as well. And on the other hand, Jupiter rules the 10th house, and that indicates the government or administration. And Jupiter is actually placed in the first house, which indicates directional strength for Jupiter, but it also is combust. So it's like a feeling where the leader is stuck somewhere, although the leader has potency and all, but he's not able to kind of progress or make you know in the direction that he wanted to, or he's not able to quickly come to a conclusive decision as such. So that is one of those things that the leader might kind of struggle a little bit as far as this particular um phase is concerned. And on the other hand, there will also be some kind of a criticism as to there is like the leader or the nation is two-faced, because Gemini is rising and Gemini represents duality. And Jupiter in the first house as king, maybe some people think that the king or leader is kind of two-faced and dual-faced, maybe in a negative sense. But as a leader, a lot goes in the background and we don't know much as to what is going on. So we should obviously we should kind of be very careful about communication. And I think in the past 2 months videos we mentioned that we should be very careful about what is going on in social media. And we saw someone, a young 19 or 20-year-old girl who is going to prison and coming out for abusive languages on social media. So regardless of whatever politics is involved, I think astrology is working here. We mentioned that there will be problems because of social media, and here you go, it arises. So we again stress that be very careful on social media about making a statement, be very respectful, and don't engage in kind of very rude or derogatory language, because Mars and Ketu are in the third house, and it might surely lead to larger trouble. And what we say might not be received in the same way as we say, because ninth house, the receptors, Rahu is placed in ninth house. So there is going to be a lot of problems in that sense as well. And there is a scope for amplified international diplomacy on the one hand because of Rahu, and also on the other hand, there's going to be some kind of a derailment where some countries will continue to criticize India, especially the well-known Western Commonwealth nations that kind of build a narrative that is always against India. So I think journalism will be one of the most important matters of discussion during this period, because obviously the Gemini Sagittarius axis is involved, the 1-7 axis here, but in the natural zodiac it's the third and the ninth axis, and both these planets, Jupiter and Mercury, are actually placed in Gemini, which leads to communication and also indicates journalism and other media industries, or some kind of online portals that is involved in kind of spreading news, or maybe sometimes misinformation as well, obviously because of Rahu's placement in Aquarius and Mars and Ketu in the third house of Leo. So journalism will be in the forefront, but there is always good journalism and bad journalism. It is up to us to kind of stick to good journalism that is neutral and gives us only the facts and not opinions. So be very careful about what we involve in. So expect some form of information related to policy matters and all those things that might raise some eyebrows in India during this period. So there will be a lot of overflow of information, and as always, but this period might be a little too much for us to handle. And there will also be misinformation, as we mentioned. So that is something that we need to kind of take care of. So I think I'll leave it to you before we get into the final details of the chart.
Thanks, Ashwin. So the gist that Ashwin just mentioned about the planetary positions and the global events and the geopolitics. So I have gathered what you just mentioned. I'm just quickly going to be sharing my synopsis on this. So Sun will be joining a combust Mercury, combust Jupiter, and a combust Mercury also in a way, because they are in Gemini, but Mercury will be moving forward. So this is a fiery, combustive, air-driven intellectual space ruled by Mercury. So this forms a trine to Rahu, so unpredictable alliances, digital surges, AI-related regulatory news, legal tech escalation. That's what you mentioned. And then Mars Ketu, which is in the sun sign, is a combustive fire energy. Major power plays, military agitation, terror-linked headlines, aircraft fire accidents. This I had mentioned in my Mars Ketu conjunction videos also. 2-3 videos I've done on the same. And Saturn, as it is in the Pisces sign. So you see judiciary shakeups, karmic reckonings, because it's the last sign. You must understand that whenever Saturn is in the Pisces sign, it is 10th from Sun. So karmic delays in leadership, judiciary shakeups will be taking place, and karmic reckonings for long-standing governments. Moon is going to be in the 8th house. So initial few days post Sankranti, this will expose the secrets. So that is why whatever has happened, the plane crash, it is, there can be something which is hidden, As it is, there's a Jupiter and Rahu's nakshatra exchange also. Some revelations are going to be made, for sure. There is something behind the scenes which is happening, which is not right. People are making stories already about it, that this was a planned thing. So let's wait and watch. Volatile markets, of course, we can say. And there is a mental unrest also in people, we can see. Mars Ketu, especially, in Leo sign and Rahu in Aquarius, possible terror threats happen. Drone strikes happen. A naval or air force escalations happen. And leaders will be in trouble because it's Combust Mercury, Combust Jupiter plus Mercury. Revelations against public figures, misleading communication, as you said rightly, journalism. Be careful what you hear, what you listen to, what you follow. There can be accountability issues. And tech and finance industry is also going to be facing sudden stock reversals and big tech facing backlash or lawsuits, which I think is going to increase or aggravate. As you said, rightly said, the lady in Kolkata, she was pulled out from Gurgaon and arrested. Right? And that is because of the tech and finance industry facing this backlash from a long time. And Ardhara is natural disasters. It's Rudra, the storm bearer. And as it is, whenever sun is in Ardhara, it gives high mental volatility. I've seen people, lose out on their mind. So 22nd of June onwards, be careful. 6 July. Till 6 July, it is going to be in Ardhara. It's a very precarious time. Extreme weather events, floods, wildfires, cyclones, cloudbursts, they happen. And also emotional communication because it is in the Gemini sign, dual sign. And there can be some, because it is Gemini sign, as you know, Gemini is travels also. So aviation mishaps, metro, train, derailments can be heard. Sorry about this. We don't mean to, mean this to happen. We are nobody. Because of us saying it is not going to happen. And some hidden enemies, defense concerns can come up because Rahu boosts foreign investment deals also. So because Rahu is in trine to the Surya, so this can boost foreign investment deals, but there will be hidden agendas. There will be defense concerns because of Mars Ketu conjunction, which is a very, very important aspect to check also. Sun Jupiter will be exactly at the same degrees on the 23rd June. And Mercury moves forward to Cancer. So this can lead to crashes in judgment by leaders, misinformation, market overvaluation burst. Because Jupiter, maybe some gold prices just, shoot up and then come down. They just fall. That can also happen. Bullion, gold prices, all that. I know Ashwin is also now having so many things running in his head. And everybody is now thinking about all this, why this is happening. There are two more important dates, that is 25th June and 10 July. That is 25th June is new moon in Ardhara. Now this is precarious. Rainstorms, deaths, global mourning. It is the darkest lunar day. Avoid new beginnings, risky travels or surgical processes on the 25th June especially. And on the 10th July, we have full moon Purvashada, which is water-related news. Truth will be revealed. Women will be in power or they will be behind the scenes. There will be something which will be revealed on the women counterpart. And justice will be restored. And 6 July, Sun moves into Punarvasu, recovery, healing, clarity returns. Legal system will be active. And 9th of July, Jupiter will rise, thankfully, return of Dharma. Some wise policy decisions will be made by the authorities. Positive economic turnarounds will take place. Because Jupiter is combust, there is no grace. Venus is in Aries sign. We must understand that both are in the enemy's signs also. So when Jupiter is combust, it is losing the potency to give the good results. And 12th of July, Sun will be in the exact trine to Rahu and will be forming a 311 relationship with Ketu. Exact trine, exact degrees. So foreign political tie-ups, UFO or astral news, innovation surge can take place because of this. Because Sun and Rahu, and it said that when Sun and Rahu are in trine, this is a Pitru dosha, for the ones who are born with this. But this is the time on the 12th of July, you must do propitiate your ancestors. And there's a lot of research which has been done on this particular transit. So please note down that foreign political tie-ups, UFO, astral news will be there. This will happen for sure. Okay, we'll be doing, people are writing, we'll be doing yes, it's Guru Purnima. We'll be doing the sign-wise predictions in a bit. But the main thing is that there will be some secrets, some storms, some kind of timing, which is going to be, it's like a time to awaken or fall. That is something which can happen. Okay. And the first house is your, because Sun is in the first house, it is about the national body. Identity crisis can happen now. Till the time Jupiter is combust, constitutional essence and spirit of the people might just be a roaring one. They might just get very upset. There can be mass agitation because Saturn is in the 10th house. Okay. So pessimism, declining morale, public dissatisfaction. As it is, there are things which are happening, which is leading to the mass protest and all also. We might just have a weak leadership or poor global image presented, as you rightly mentioned. We'll be projected as the weak nation or something or the other, like a poor global image that can be reflected. Okay, so this is what I could gather, what my research and Ashwin's research mentioned. Ashwin, you can quickly add if you want to something, and then we proceed to the sign-wise prediction.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about Mars and Ketu.
Sure.
Mars and Ketu in Leo, because that is one of the most important things that are happening in this chart. So it is very specific to this chart. So I thought we'll just kind of give a little overview. So third house can be associated with neighbors and maybe even border areas. So I think there will be some kind of a communication mishap or a problem that arises somewhere in the border or areas related to border. So we have two countries that are always kind of keeping us on the edge in terms of volatility. So I think there will be something that kind of takes place. That kind of puts our armed forces on high alert. So that is one thing. And on the other hand, Leo is one of the signs of royalty and kingship. So I think there is some form of a danger to people in authoritative positions or something like that. So people need to be very careful about it. People in administrative positions or authoritative positions, leaders, etc. So all those people will need to be very careful during this period, and we have to exercise caution, especially when it comes to uh, you know transportation, because Mars and Ketu are in the third house, which means we need to be very careful about travel and transportation. And so there will be some uncontrollable events, as you rightly pointed out. Uncontrollable events that are sudden and which could be leading to some fire shots, which are also unnecessary in many ways. So I think we need to be just a little careful about all those things. So as I mentioned, border disputes can kind of come up at any point of time, and obviously rogue elements will keep provoking us, and that will be kind of costing us a lot of embarrassment on an international platform if something like that happens. So, and there may also be a little bit of criticism as far as the leadership is concerned, because Leo is a sign of royalty, and we have two natural malefic planets afflicting the sign. So there will be some chaos which may be unexpected. And a potential for accidents is always there with this, but we don't mean them to happen, but as astrologers, it is important for us to convey what we think might happen. So it could be kind of issues related to travel or military related matters. So railways also needs to be on high alert to make sure that no mishap happens. And all forms of communication and transport should be 100% thorough, and we should not have any compromises, because we need to check 100% as to everything is good and then kind of start. So that is one of those things. So communication will be a problem. We mentioned that, but I think we didn't mention cyber attack. That is very much possible, especially given the nature of the Rahu and Ketu in contact or configuration with Mars. So there is a lot of lies that is going on, and cyber attack might just increase the potential for those misinformation. And propaganda wars, misinformation will obviously lead to propaganda wars, and that could be kind of denting the way the nation progresses or how the nation is perceived. So we may see some censorship during this period. Third house, ninth house, uh, Mars in Ketu in Leo and Rahu in Aquarius. There is a lot of scope for censorship, especially for media industries. And if you're on social media and if you're doing something very controversial that could potentially disrupt the nation's image or cause some kind of damage to nation's image, I think there is a lot of potential for the social media accounts to be banned as well. So take it very easy and be very careful about all those things. So there's a lot of chances for hack. So hack could be one of those things, and there could be a possibility where some government website or something is hacked, and that might be ending up as an embarrassment or something like that, which
Yeah,
is very
some leak
challenging.
can happen. Some leak can
Yeah,
happen.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that is a potential challenge that we may face. So, and also because of a lot of challenges surrounding, we may face some issues related to diplomatic relations, or there could be some kind of a destabilizing factors that are going on as far as diplomacy is concerned. I think we may face some issues in the borders of Bangladesh, or maybe Pakistan or China or even Myanmar. So nothing is ruled out as far as communication related to border matters are concerned. Um, so yeah, I
Yeah, third
think
house is afflicted, no, from
yes,
third house is neighboring countries. Hmm.
yeah, that's exactly my point. And yeah, I think that's basically
Yeah.
what I wanted to say. Yeah, and religious polarity will increase. I just wanted to mention that because of Rahu
Rahu
in the
in
ninth
July.
house. So religious polarity might increase, and Jupiter is also combust. So there is no kind of, although Jupiter aspects, there is going to be a lot of religious polarities and arguments that is going to go on. Especially social media is going to kind of, erupt or blast with a lot of, you know, informations or exchanges or whatever it may be. So please be very careful and just do your own work and don't involve too much as an individual, because if we do our own work, I think the nation will be good.
Well said. Actually, yes, we need that. So I'm going to be giving some do's and don'ts, or we can say the remedies. That is like in a way remedies only. I'll just write it down here. The remedies for Surya Sankranti in Gemini, like Mithun Sankranti. So you can fast or donate on Amavasya, that is the new moon on the 25th and 25th June, and on the Guru Purnima, that is on the 10th of July. Avoid initiating any kind of legal battles during this time. Heated conversations, arguments, avoid the kind of energies are right now. You should avoid all these kinds of getting into any kind of controversy or scandals. Surgical process also. You can perform Rudra Abhishek during the Ardhara transit of Surya. This will be good. It'll give you some kind of mental strength. Rudra Abhishek is a very good remedy any which ways, and moon is also in the 8th house, so this is intense. Somebody asked about the Pluto energy also. So Pluto is retrograde, so it is Pluto is about Mahesh, that is Shiv, Lord Shiva. So Rudra energy and Pluto's energy, if you see retrogression, it is also not looking good with the 8th house transit. So destruction, mass destruction we see from here as well. And don't ignore your personal mental health also. And don't worry about the travel part. It is a very rare incidents which has happened. It will not be that that you will stop living or stop doing things. Do your good karma. I'm sure everything will be fine. And I'm sure there were small children, small kids on the plane. They had not done anything wrong in their life, but they had to go through. That means there is a past life karma also that we have to pay for. So don't get too attached to anybody's karma. Remember, if you get attached, it is going to be emitted to you. I always say, everyone, just say Om Shanti, Sadgati, and let them go, whosoever has gone. So if you dwell on that more, it brings more karma to you. You get attached to them even more. So it's better that you just let go of the souls and they get the moksha. Pray for that. And sea travels, especially, I feel that this is because Saturn is also in the 10th house, and Mercury and Jupiter, are together. So generally, it is said that if it is not necessary, avoid flying sea travels. These you should, if you can avoid. At least till the time Jupiter is combust. I see, Jupiter is going to rise only after the 9th July, and there are emergency cases also, you have to travel. So just pray to the Lord and go ahead. I don't see that, it is going to be that difficult to do, and you're going to be fine. Don't worry. Seek truth, not ego during Mercury Jupiter combustion. Observe nature signs during Ardhara Nakshatra. They guide. Suppose, you see birds flying or there is something, you should just, these are remedies only. Be alert. If there is something that you can see, something suspicious happening in or around you, be responsible. Don't ignore these things. These are, and the nature also indicates. So the trees, the leaves start falling or something very unusual if it's happening, just be observant, be receptive to it. Don't speculate financially until Jupiter rises on the 9th of July. Okay. So these are the remedies that I could think of right now. And I hope you all will be fine and you can just perform the rituals. And we are Indians. I'm sure we will be sailing through everything well. So we'll start with the readings. So for Aries natives, Ashwin, what do you have to say for Aries? No, 1 second. Let me change the sign. 1 sec. The sign is the same. Yeah. Please continue.
So for Aries, we have the lot of the 5th house going into the 3rd house. So 5th house is all about creativity and self-expression, while 3rd house is about communication and putting it outside. So with Gemini, the sun in Gemini is quite good for Aries rising natives, because the lot of your creativity and self-expression is placed in the 3rd house of courage, initiative, and pushing forward. So this is the time when and where you have to take a lot of initiatives, and you're more likely to succeed with those initiatives. And also Jupiter is placed in the 3rd house, and Mercury is also placed in the 3rd house, especially in the earlier phase of the sun in Gemini period. I think it's a very good period for you all to kind of courageously take some initiatives. And that doesn't mean, courage is not just the word that is used for warfare, but it's generally used in terms that you are kind of being circumspect or a little worried about what to do or when to do. Maybe now you will gather some courage to kind of go forward and take that initiative that you've been waiting for so long. So that is a good thing. And Jupiter and Mercury, Jupiter obviously naturally expands all your 3rd house matters and gives a lot of information. So you are stuck with information overload now. But Mercury is there, so Mercury is going to help you uh, condition those informations and take whatever is only necessary for you, and sun is going to kind of shed light on particular information that you actually need. So this is the time where you need to be very vigilant, not vigilant in the sense in a bad way, but in a good way, like try to be watchful and be ready to pick whatever you need, and you will have an opportunity to kind of do that. So be at the right place doing the right thing at the right time. So that is something that will happen for Aries rising natives. So which is a uh, positive aspect for Aries rising natives. And on the other hand, Venus is still in the 11th house. So Venus, the lord of seventh, Venus is still in the first house. So the lord of seventh and second house is placed in the first house. So there is still scope for you to kind of try and improve or put your family and finance matters in the forefront if you have not done already during this past 1 or 2 months. So now that Venus, the lord of second and seventh, is placed in the first house, you will be kind of having a lot of energy to put forth the efforts that you need to towards family and finance, and also towards relationships. If you're not married, maybe relationships is one of those keys. So you might find yourself on a very challenging spectrum, or in a very unseen area, or where you're not used to, but you will be dealing with this particular problems, or potentially scenarios that you're not used to in a good way, because of the activation of the third house. So communication will help you kind of sort out a lot of problems that are in family and finance, and you need to kind of use that particular strength that you have because of communication during this phase. So if you're not getting along well with someone, maybe this is the time you need to kind of send them a text message, or go ahead and meet them, in fact, and then try to settle issues, so you'll be successful in that. So and also, if you already have a partnership in initiative or something like that, now is the time you can go and talk. Doesn't mean you have to kind of get into a new partnership, but I'm just saying that in existing partnerships, if there are some challenges or hidden challenges, you can kind of open up and talk about those issues, and then try to resolve those issues. So those things will kind of help you. And Rahu is in the, I mean, since the last time, Rahu has now moved into the 11th house. So I'm sure you have already done the Rahu Ketu transit. So you must have covered. So you can go back and watch those videos. But just in case of a word or two, I think Rahu is in the 11th house of Badaka Sthana for Aries rising. But that doesn't mean that you will have only challenges or hindrances, because Rahu is in the 11th house. 11th is an Upachaya Sthana, and there will be an inherent strength for you to overcome. And given that there is a nice trine between Sun, Jupiter, and Mercury with Rahu, this is a very good period for you to kind of act positively and take larger strides in terms of what you're doing and succeed. And be attentive to the lunations that are new moon and full moon. Every lunation kind of brings us a lot of shifts and changes and progresses that will take us forward to the next step during this year. So I think that's all I have. And fifth house matters. You will be kind of having some challenges in creative self-expressions, but also you need to take initiatives to kind of wash out those challenges, and that is primarily because of Mars and Ketu, the challenges, I mean. But because of the power in the third house, I think you have the energy to uh, you know uh, come out of those challenges in a victorious manner, um, for the most part.
Okay. I just have to say that this is the house of communication. Okay, firstly, where Sun is going to be transiting. And it is Mithun Sankranti. So for you guys, especially, the speech will be very important because of your communication. Maybe your earnings might get better, or they might just fall. You can be very creative also, good for digital launches, good for marketing. And just be careful when you're traveling, especially on the 25th, in and around that time. Just be careful. Avoid legal clashes with your siblings. Also, this can bring about some good news to the ones who are into writing profession, sales, journalism, etc. They might just get some promotion also, quite likely. And with the rest of the transit, Ashwin rightly mentioned that, Mars and Ketu are in your fifth house, so not good for personal relationship, interpersonal relationship with your maybe the love partner. It might just bring about some issues. Lagnations with your fifth house, not that great. And Rahu is in your 11th, so you have to be very careful. Maybe there are people you're trusting, the trust issues can happen, and something just falls apart in your relationship suddenly with your friends. You didn't expect things happening your way, and suddenly something happens and you have to break away from that person. Investment wise, be careful, be logical, don't get carried away and make bold decisions. Jupiter is also combust, so we have to be careful. Mercury is going to be in the water sign post 22nd, so can become very emotionally challenging position for you, because you're logical at times, you're logical, you're emotional, so there will be a tug of war. So do the remedies that I prescribed in the beginning. I have under the remedies section, so they'll help you. Saturn is, as it is, transiting your first house, your 12th house, and looking at your second, so savings you might have to put a little extra effort to. And of course, expenditures maybe are on charitable institutes more, or on the ones who are underprivileged more when Saturn is in the 12th house, just to save yourself, safeguard yourself. You're just getting carried away and giving big donations, so draw a line there. Also, Venus is in the first house. That's good for you, for your personality, interpersonal relationship. It's good. Spousal relationship, business proposal, maybe you're going to be starting some business also. So it's a consolidated reading, and looks like your Lagnesh is afflicted, so you have to be very, very careful about your health, legal battles. Though it is said that when Mars is in the fifth house with Ketu, it will give you a break, and then you start afresh, and then it takes you to heights. So don't worry, things are going to fall in place. But yes, with Sankranti, Sun's ingress here, fifth, after all, fifth lord is in your third house. So this is forming a 311 relationship, which is positive for your relationships, and it's minimizing the negatives, and good for your children's growth and childbirth also. Okay, coming to the next one, that is Taurus. So yeah, please.
So for Taurus, we are talking about the second house of family and finance, and with Sun entering the second house, so there is a lot of focus on resources that we have, and especially financial resources, and also there is a kind of sense of importance that we have to give for a family during this time, because the second house is activated, and so it's not about how we sustain during this period, but this is about how we flourish during this period. There is a little bit of a tendency to get carried away during this period with Sun, Jupiter, and Mercury in the second house. But if we get carried away, there will be a moment of uncertainty or two, because Venus is still in the 12th house. So there is no clear, vision as to where we need to go. So we just have resources, but just focus on kind of slowly consolidating on those resources, because Saturn in the 11th house indicates that we need to kind of slow down and consolidate on our resources, rather than kind of being rash and over optimistic about what we have. So there is a sense of restlessness, obviously, with Sun in the second house. Second house is the house of grasp and attitude, and also aptitude. So we need to be a little cautious about how we speak, and how, because second house can indicate the way we speak. With Sun in the second house with Mercury, there is a tendency to kind of speak in little harsh manner, not the Martian or Rahu Ketu harsh way, but Sun also presents some kind of a heated way of explaining things in a very administrative or a dominating manner, which may or may not go well with people around us. So that could, I mean, our curiosity, Gemini indicates curiosity, and our curiosity kind of should not hurt someone else. So we need to be very mindful about that. And our mind is always kind of going on here and there with a lot of ideas related to work or how we deal with our finances or how we deal with our family. But we cannot expect people who travel with us to kind of have the same kind of mental attitude or speed as to how we want to kind of push ourselves in those zones. So we need to kind of understand that every human being is different, and we should kind of focus on individuality, but we should not impose our individuality on someone else. So that could be one of those things. And also with Gemini as the second house, we need to be focused on our resources and not kind of get scattered as to what is going on. So with the amount of information or resources that we have at this point of time might sometimes indicate that we get scattered around and we kind of fall around all over the place without sticking to one particular thing that we actually need. So that is one of those tendencies even I am kind of dealing with now as a Taurus rising native. Already with Mercury and Jupiter, I made plans and I tore two or three plans as a full-time astrologer. Now now that I've quit my job, so I've been working in corporate finance and investment banking for the past 14-15 years. And I quit my job and I want to do astrology. And for the 15 years, I've been told what to do by my bosses. But now suddenly I am the manager of my own time and I have to manage my time. And it's like almost I'm in a place where I don't know how to kind of, work with the time that I have and, allocate my time for various activities that I have. And as I mentioned, Venus is placed in the 12th house. So I know that this particular period is going to be a little uncertain in terms of what I do. But I think over a period of time, in another 15 or 20 days for Taurus rising natives, things will kind of slowly move forward. And I think you can take some key or hints from myself, which will kind of help you. Don't worry about finances. There will be a lot of clarity over a period of time. And I think it's also a very good time to kind of manage in terms of manage the streams of income. If you're working in one place, maybe you just have that particular income, but you can kind of try and create passive incomes or passive income streams. And if you're a self-employed personality, it is time for you to kind of try and identify various income streams that could give you passive income, because with a lot of activation in the second house is the most prominent house for Taurus rising natives at this point. Sun, Jupiter, and Mercury. So even if you don't kind of gain money, but now is the time for you to make plans, fix patterns, and have some sequences in terms of how we are going to earn money from multiple income streams, so that when Mercury enters Virgo as the second lord, we'll be able to kind of have some form of income based on what we planned at this point. So I think that is one of those key matters that we have to consider. So with Mars and Ketu in the fourth house, there is a domestic displacement or some kind of a displacement in the domestic environment. I know that there is something going on. So what I did today is, from yesterday I've been kind of cleaning up my office room and I'm just kind of segregating every single thing that I have, and I'm trying to kind of clear my background for the YouTube videos. So I think that is it. More than kind of indicating that Mars and Ketu is going to kind of bring some bad luck or something like that in the fourth house, I think we have to understand that sometimes it just needs a little bit of renovation or rearrangement within our domestic space. And if we do that, and that is kind of a ritual, and maybe something bad won't attack us. So I think we all need to kind of remember that. With Moon in the ninth house of this chart, it indicates that there is some kind of spiritual or philosophical ideology that is kind of growing on in our mind, that is slowly getting fixed. So get acquainted with some form of a philosophical text. At least try to read one page a day that gives you some form of peace. So so I think uh, that is where we need to focus on. And overall, I think ignore all those tensions that you have. Stability is kind of going to come over a period of time, but I think we need to be a little patient. Now is the time for us to remain patient. And financial independence, if you're kind of craving for that, it is there in the long run. But now is the time for you to kind of strategize with a very strong Gemini, and that too is the second house. And as far as I'm concerned, Taurus rising natives are very lucky at this point to kind of have such prominence in the second house to plan for their family and finances.
Yes, so you have become a sample chart for us. So because he's a Taurus rising, so he's just saying, so you all are lucky that you know an extra edge over there. So yeah, Sun is going to be in the second house, of course. This can bring about some eye infection or something. Just adding on to what Ashwin has mentioned. Um, eye infection, teeth trouble, all that you have to be careful, and bad temper. It brings about temporary separation from your partner also, because it's 8 places away. So if there are grahas in 6 places away from the seventh, 8 places away from the seventh, it can bring about issues to the health or temporary separation from the partner also. So it could be that the partner is a little unwell, so you're looking after that person. So just take care. Don't be sharp at tongue. This is not the time to adopt bad food habits. Just let go of those. Eat right, sleep on time. There can be some family issues that you have to maybe reconcile with someone. And investments need caution, because Saturn is there in the 11th house, Sun is there in the second house. Avoid risky trading, I would say. And your money will be spent on the government or something, which maybe somebody is writing something, and they have to they're spending a lot of time and energy on that, and it's a Gemini sign after all, and you don't get the return as you expected. So it can be that you're not just spending your time, but you're overspending your emotions on something, and it is going down the drain. With Sun in the second house, it is actually exponential growth with Sun and Jupiter combination there. So it could be exponential growth in your emotions, in your words. So try using less in more, so, and brings out more. So maybe the meaning should be concise to whatever you're communicating. See, Sun here also makes you flamboyant. Spendings happen. Sun does only well in 4 places, 3, 6, 10, 11. That's all, the Upchaya houses. So when Sun is transiting to the second house, it is actually, not a good placement for being flexible. You become very adamant. Now, with Mars and Ketu also in the Sun sign, this is one of the reasons that it can bring about displacement. Whenever Rahu Ketu are in the Kendra, or you are just studying all the things that you have learned in the past, you pick up those books, you start refreshing your rules. And because Ketu is from scratch, no? Ketu means that Ketu is the baby. Ketu is the tiniest and the minutest of the things. It's a needle also when we talk about Ketu. So now what is happening? Some people might just pick up and start stitching, from the scratch. Or you just start doing some renovation of your place. Okay, that is also quite likely. And as he said, that I'm decluttering and I'm just redoing my place, my office place. So because your Rahu is in the 10th house, you're obsessed by your work, your profession, your career, you're thinking too much, how I can be better, how I can improve, how I can, and you're spending lesser time at home. So that is something which is because of this. And your efforts definitely will be more as compared to the results. So be prepared for this. Venus, your Lagnesh is also in the 12 places away from itself. So maybe you're connecting more with the female counterparts. You're connecting more with the foreigners more. You're traveling to the foreign lands more. 10th house Rahu is also, bringing about travels for work or connection with the foreigners more. And I think the best thing that you can do right now is to plug those extra expenditures that you are making. You're overindulgent, you're overspendthrift. So just avoid, and avoid harsh words. Be concise, be to the point, and avoid any kind of emotional drain right now, I would say. Okay. So this will be good for you. Coming to the next one, that is Gemini. You start speaking, Ashwin.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Okay. So, Gemini, Parashara says that for Sun in Gemini, it's the first house. So that's something that I have to say first. So Parashara says that with Sun in the first house, people might have ego or some form of pride, but also a lot of leadership qualities. So that is one thing. And on the other hand, we should also kind of focus on what Sun, Mercury, and Jupiter could bring. So it could bring a lot of speech orientation or some form of new learning, and also versatile learning experiences or something like that, which could kind of potentially benefit us in the long time. So this is the time for us to be intellectually very active, and sometimes we would be too proud of our knowledge and we would engage in sharp speech or something like that. So again, with Gemini, we are kind of the Gemini natives are known for their speech or their flexibility and speed. So sometimes it can also lead to kind of a little bit of harsh ways of communicating things. So with Sun in the first house, there is a lot of chances that ego will clash with flexibility. So the Gemini or dualism is always kind of known for its flexibility, but now suddenly with Sun in the first house, there is little bit of ego or pride that is going on with Gemini rising natives, and those people kind of think that they have a little bit of edge over others, and they have little bit of flexibility problems, which may or may not be a good thing. I'm not trying to say that it is a bad thing, but I'm just saying that maybe you can contextualize that need for flexibility and kind of adapt accordingly. So with the Sun Mercury Jupiter conjunction, it's there is a lot of chance for us to be very sharp and intelligent, but our witty attitude or sharpness or intelligence can sometimes undermine something that needs emotional touch or connection. So be very mindful of that intellectuality only goes so far. So somewhere down the line we need emotions. So you need to kind of differentiate as to which place needs emotions and which place needs intellectualism. So try to differentiate between those two and make sure that we are doing the right thing. So with the third lord in the first house, and the seventh lord, that is the Badaka in the first house, this time maybe there is a little bit of uh, challenges as far as health and also heat related concerns like heat boils or something related to heat might kind of bring about a hindrance or a disruption as far as our health is concerned. um, but still, I think communication is one of those important things. Third lord, first house, travel or short distance travel becomes something very important, and also Sun rules the siblings for Gemini rising natives. So with the third house being afflicted by Mars and Ketu and Sun in the first house, along with Mercury and Jupiter, we need to be on the one hand there is good things, but on the other hand there is also challenging things. So if the relationship is already difficult, you need to be very mindful that now is not the time to kind of push anything forward. If you do that, it may lead to litigation or other ugly challenges. So use your communication to kind of stay away if the relationship is bad. If the relationship is good, try to maintain the relationship, and don't be impulsive or very rigid in your communication. Try to be a little flexible with your Koban. So that will help in kind of saving the relationship. So overall, I think there is a strong personal voice that you have as a Gemini rising native during this period. There is a tendency to be proud. Be sure that you don't turn it into a negative thing. You use your sharp intellect or sharp mind to kind of navigate through this period that is filled with a little bit of exterior challenges. There are no challenges from the inner level, because the lord of the rising sign is placed in the first house and Jupiter is placed in the first house. There is a lot of good things, but circumstances externally might affect you, and that is something that you need to work on and not kind of uh, you should not let that happen. So it's a period of that is prone to argument and also stubbornness because of Mars and Ketu in the third house. There is no point in being stubborn, try, which might affect our flexibility. But if a situation demands you to be stubborn, I think you should be stubborn. So again, try to contextualize it, and be individualistic in what you do, and that is your strength during this period. So if and on the other hand, maybe if you're trying to learn a new language or something, I think this is a good time to kind of initiate those things. And you're naturally courageous with the third house, Mars and Ketu. It gives even more courage, and there is a lot of strength to kind of take new initiatives, not new decisions, but new initiatives. So there is a lot of difference between initiatives and decisions. Taking an initiative to learn a new language is different than going on and teaching a new language, so without knowing a new language. So second one is a decision, and first one is an initiative. So try to move on with good initiatives that could potentially bring a lot of positive things in the future. Moon is in the 8th house, second lord is in the 8th house. If you're dealing with other people's money, or if you're kind of working in a financial services industry, be careful of what you do. Maybe there are chances that you might make slight mistakes or something like that, and for that you might kind of get some tantrums from your boss. So make sure that you don't kind of involve in that. Saturn is in your 10th house, and this particular month there will be a little bit of domination, pressure at work. Be sure that you don't say much, just handle the pressure, and this is a passing cloud, and this 1 month is, once this 1 month is over, things will change in the next month. So just kind of bite your teeth and stay there, and use your strong intellect and the energy to take a lot of initiatives with a wealth of information to your good.
Great. Thank you so much, Ashwin. It was a great analysis. Sun is going to be in the first house for a month, so this can bring about too much of ego, identity crisis, untimely meals, and you can also have some skin related problems because Mercury is also there in the first house, the Lagnesh. Then Lagnesh is going to the second house. Again, it can bring about some waterborne diseases or something. Water retention can increase, but you must actually do spiritual retreat or body detox during this time. It's really essential. Some exercise program is required, and also this will give you too much of confidence, or overconfidence also at times is not good. So maintain some kind of moderation here, and avoid impulsive actions. There can be some ego clashes which can happen, so you have to be cautious about that. You may have some kind of friction with your partner also, because the seventh lord is also combust, so this can bring about some issues there as well in your business partnership also. Just be cautious. Third house is Mars Ketu, and as you rightly mentioned, that you have to be careful about your communication, writing, whatever you are communicating. You might just be getting little offbeat in that, and you might just get some backlash you have to face with other people. Travels, you have to be careful as well. Mars Ketu in the third house, and also take care of your health, because this is going to be giving you some kind of fever or bilus issues. You have to be careful. Vata increases, actually pitta increases, actually, so you have to be cautious. And maybe you're having some ego clashes with your own siblings, or you're relocating, you're selling off your property and going somewhere else. That is also quite likely. Saturn is in the Kendra. It brings about changes, and 9th house as Rahu. So foreign travels, relocating is also quite likely. Venus in the 11th house will give you some relief there in your finances, and maybe you will be going in for some investments, or you're going to be saving some money during this time. So overall, I think it's a mixed bag, and wait till the Jupiter rises in the month of July. Things are going to get better and settle down. So on the new moon, full moon times, you should actually donate something to the needy, and rice especially, or wheat, flour, you can donate, and it'll minimize the impact of the sun in the first house. Sun in the first house is an exalted place, so it's not that bad. It is good for your getting back to the action. So anything that you were feeling was stagnant when sun was in the 12th house, expenditures were rising. Now things are going to mellow down a bit. So you're going to be experiencing some kind of confidence, and that, okay, I'm getting better and better. But overconfidence is not good. You know that already. Coming to the next one, that is Cancer. Please carry on.
I'm just trying to unmute. So yeah, Cancer. So for Cancer, the 12th house is active with Sun's entry into Gemini, and the 12th house is the house of expenditure and losses. That doesn't mean that everything is going to be a loss or you're going to kind of incur a lot of expenses, but it also kind of concurs with the idea of how you deal with your expenditure and how well you tackle your expenses. So I think Sun there, as a planet of administration and authority, it gives an opportunity for us to kind of authoritatively cut some expenses or plan our expenses in such a way that we don't burn our hands. So it also indicates foreign places. So it could indicate foreign income because Sun is the lord of the second house as well. So if you are someone who has client base in the out of India, maybe that is one of those places from where you kind of gain income, or maybe you can kind of take a trip to a foreign nation or something like that, because Saturn is already in your ninth house, and now Sun, the second lord, is entering your 12th house. Maybe you book your foreign travel because the lord of the second house is placed in the 12th house, where you kind of spend money towards a foreign travel or something like that. So, but on the other hand, there is a lot of scope for spirituality and kind of dealing with your spiritual self as well, because the 12th house is active, and 12th house can also indicate endless or deep spirituality. The Sun, Jupiter, and Mercury are placed in the 12th house, so maybe you are involved in some charity work that kind of involves a temple, or maybe a charity work to an organization that does a lot of good work helping the needies, or maybe you donate to someone, or maybe you donate to the construction of a temple or something like that. Or on the other hand, you go to a spiritual retreat, or maybe kind of take up a yoga class or something like that to cleanse yourself, and maybe a detox session with an Ayurvedic specialist or something like that, which will help you kind of rejuvenate or cleanse yourself, the inner self, not just the spiritual part but also the physical part. So there is a lot of scope with that. And sleep is one of the prominent factors. 12th house is also associated with sleep. So if you have not been able to kind of sleep properly, now is the time you kind of focus on uh, channelizing or planning your sleep. Everyone needs 6 to 7 hours of good sleep. So if you have not been getting that, try to focus on how you sleep. So we always take sleep as granted, but sleep is very important. And the chart really says that you have to kind of go ahead and sleep well. So and maybe if you have some kind of a long-term bank account or money or something, maybe you'll withdraw that, because 12th house is not just about spending, it can also indicate withdraw or closing of some accounts. So that is one thing. And in a way it also indicates isolation, because the 12th house prominence indicates being lonely or something like that. So somewhere we feel that we are lonely as rising natives, and as cancer rising natives, they need nourishment, they need care, they need support, they need the motherly touch, or they need someone to always kind of be with them. It's difficult for them to kind of be alone, so they need at least the phone to kind of keep talking with people. So, and even if someone is not there at home, maybe they kind of switch on a TV or a music and just feel like someone is actually there around. So and that feeling might increase, but it could also kind of lead to a lot of realizations or revelations within yourself. So one thing is, we should be very careful that we don't involve in any wrongful deeds, because ninth house is afflicted by Saturn, and now the 12th house. So if something wrong that you do, it might bite you at the back, maybe immediately or maybe in the future, but no, make sure that you don't kind of wrong do anything, or don't involve in sinful or illegal activities. There is every possibility that you will be caught. And do not kind of involve in any wealth related matters, or distributing something that kind of affects your own wealth. Do not be a guarantor for anyone, do not sign as a guarantor for anyone during this period. So because loss of wealth is one of those key matters for this particular period. If by wealth I don't mean that it's like entire wealth is going to go into something, but I'm just saying that maybe you will lose money, even if it is 10 rupees. 10 rupees, it is 10 rupees. So don't loan anyone, and it won't come back if you kind of lend money to someone during this time. So there might be a potential chance for staying away from family or family related issues or challenges within the family. And the ways we speak, as second house Mars and Ketu, Cancer rising natives have this tendency to kind of be very impulsive. And now with Mars and Ketu, um, there could be some form of challenges in terms of speaking that arises because of our nervousness or because of our impulsiveness. We kind of hurt someone, or kind of cause a very ugly situation, and that is something that we should not kind of do, and we need to be very mindful of that. Financial ups and downs are obviously part of this period because second lord is in the 12th house, but also Mars and Ketu are placed in the second house, so we need to be very careful about that. No need to be very generous. You can provide charity, but don't be very generous. uh, Feeling isolated from others is actually a good sign now. Make sure that you utilize that particular period for betterment. And obviously I mentioned there is a lot of interest for you in foreign lands during this period. Maybe you can book a foreign trip for the future, so that is one of those good things. Second house and the 12th house are also related to eyes, or so take care of your eyes. If you already wear specs like me, go ahead and just check your eyes. Make sure that everything is good. So there could be some issues related to eyes. Sleep issues are obviously there, I mentioned that before. So but apart from all this, there is a lot of scope for spiritual growth, and to kind of cleanse ourselves internally. So try to kind of involve in spiritual activities such as meditation or yoga or something like that. It will help you in the long run. So yeah, I think overall, I think this is what I had to say. So foreign placements or foreign income or dealing with foreign matters is one of those key aspects, and also to calm down and tone down our impulsiveness is the behavioral side of something that we need to keep in mind.
Great. Less to add here. Sun in the 12th house, isolation. It will give you some new alliances overseas. And being the second house ruler, expenditures on the foreign travels can be there. You might just be going in for some spiritual pursuit or spiritual journey also. It's good if you just pick up the pen and write, with a yellow pen. If you want to write something, write some good things, affirmations, etc., journal or whatever, with a yellow pen. It is something which will take away all the anxiety. I just believe in remedies which are practical, which you can do, and it should help. So when it is in Gemini sign, it is the sign of writing also. So if you write, it will help you. You will be out of your anxiety, because sometimes what happens, especially with the Cancer natives, they are very emotional kinds, nurturing kinds of people. And what happens, they are in they shut themselves up whenever they are low and out. They don't want to express those that kind of emotional trauma or emotional turmoil that they are going through. They don't want to emit or pass it on to the family members or others in around them. They just want to be very positive, and they want to spread love and affection to others. So what happens when sun is in the 12th house? It's the best time that you can be in that spiritual and isolation zone to understand what's happening in and around you. So this might just be the time when you can just write something and vent it out to that, whatever you're going through, the negative especially. And as Ashwin said, sleep, detox. You can have some more of fluids, be hydrated, keep yourself hydrated, because you're a water sign as it is, and sun in the 12th house will be making you have fevers or stomach ache or chest pain also. So you need to be hydrated. And in case you are having any kind of issues with your people, you may just that animosity, maybe with your own friends, with your own relatives, can come up. So with Jupiter also being the sixth lord in the 12th house, and it's also about combustion. So you need to take care of your health any which ways. So don't get into any kind of unethical behavior right now. If you are, then it is directly going to cause you trauma, health issues, and if you don't do good things, so it just will be a bad karma which is accumulating your, and it can trouble your health. Saturn is also in your ninth house. It's going to be for a long, long time though. But you see, Saturn in the ninth house, it said that it brings about isolating energies. You might just change your path of dharma. You might just follow a different path altogether. You have been maybe going to a church or a gurudwara or somewhere, but you suddenly start following sanatan dharam, or you just start doing rituals, lighting diyas and all those Indian rituals that we follow. So suddenly it is a shift which can happen. So you have to see what you can do during this time period, whatever is suitable for you as per your desire and as you can in your own capacity. Speak the truth, because Mars Ketu are in your second house, so it is going to be giving you that anxiety, and because of the anxiety you can just blurt it out. Sometimes you can be very volatile and very aggressive in your speech, in your words. Take care of your eyesight, take care of your dental issues in case you're having any. And if you have to start anything to do with the artistic, that flair that you have, so do it now with Venus in the 10th house. So good for marketing, good for things which are related to jewelry designing or fashion designing. So it is going to be good for you. Okay. And this is the time you need to be very careful about the ethics, basically. So don't fall prey to the short routes of making money out of money. That is the way it comes, it will go also easily. So be careful about that, and you're good to go. Coming to the next one, that is
just a moment. Someone is asking
yeah.
if they should travel during Saturn in the ninth house
Okay.
for this month. So, do you want to answer that, or
Yeah, you answer, please go ahead.
no?
Travel
Okay.
to where? What are they asking?
So they're asking, like, I want to travel to sacred sites, but I'm
Sacred
confused with
sites. Okay.
Shani in the
Okay.
ninth house.
Yeah. See, main thing is, as I mentioned, you can maybe adopt, if you're going to a sacred site. Suppose you are a Christian and you adopt something which is out of league. See, whenever Saturn is looking at the ninth house, Saturn is there in the ninth house in transit. It said that you go to very different kind of places. Different places means that you are not doing the rituals in a very conventional manner. I just don't want to say it, but it said that you go to a cremation ground. It's like those kinds of rituals. So maybe you are going to be, it's good if you want to travel. It is, as it is the 12th sign of the natural zodiac. Also, yeah, Pisces is the sign of travels, isolation. So it's good for retreat. It's good if you're going for detox, if you're going to those kinds of places where you can get better and you get to know the gist of life. So if you're going just for the heck of or the sake of visiting those places or sites, then it's of no use, because because Saturn wants you to learn your lesson. That is why in the 12th sign, it is the last sign, means it is actually taking you away from the worldly desires and comforts. It's the end. What do you think, Ashwin? You can also add your views
Yeah, I
on it.
think I agreed with each and every point that you said. So, only thing that I want to kind of say is that do not go with an expectation of materialism or material gain. Just
Exactly.
go
Yeah.
with the very strictly pure intentions of just rejuvenating yourself from a spiritual perspective. And Pisces indicates endless spirituality. So just go there with very strict attitude of just having spiritual retreat.
Yeah.
And if that is the case, I think it will be a very fruitful one. Uh, but if that is not, I think maybe there will be some disappointments, obviously.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, coming to the next one, Leo, you can start the Leo's reading and we can be little quick now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Leo is, I think, Sun is in the 11th house, Lord of the rising sign in the 11th house, possibly one of the best placements that we can have. So it indicates kind of rise in stature, both from a personal and also from the perspective of the public view, we are going to, as Leo natives, you will be kind of rising in stature, and there will be a lot of scope for you to kind of dream something, but also not just dream, but also fulfill. So if you've been kind of desiring or wanting something for a very long period, maybe now is the time you actually go ahead and get that. So you may become a good leader in many ways, but with Mars and Ketu, there might be some taint or criticism that you may have to go across. And so, but I think friends, 11th house also indicates friends or social circles. So you may have a lot of benefit or gains from social circles. In general, there will be a lot of gain, material gain. Lot in the sense it is contextual. So don't say that I didn't have my 1 crore by the end of this month. So try to put things into context and see what is actually a gain for you, and kind of try and do that. So, but status is surely going to improve with the 11th house matters, but maybe in the first house matters, there will be a little bit of challenges. Mars is the Yoga Karaka ruling the fourth and the ninth house. So Mars placed in the first house is good, but Mars can also bring a little bit of health challenges because Mars is the natural um planet of diseases. So although Mars is Yoga Karaka and it is going to bring fortune and luck and all those things, it is afflicted by Ketu, and there will be some form of health check or something like that you need at this point. So you are naturally very courageous and very optimistic person, and you need to be the same even during this way. Just try to kind of be exuberant and physically active during this period. Mars is there in the first house. Physically active, Mars needs rigor, physical rigor. So if you kind of engage in physical activity, all your uh, existing health problems might kind of seem very small if you already have one. So if you have some form of health problem, just make sure that you go and just do some physical activity, and suddenly you will feel better because Mars in the first house needs physical activity. Mars needs to run. So there might be a little bit of challenges in relationships or dealing with matters in public because of Rahu in the seventh house, and the moon is also in the sixth house. That again indicates some form of physical or psychological challenge, which we need to be aware of. Overall, we have a lot of strength and determination. Social circles are going to be very helpful for us. Um, you know, um, there is a lot of gain from what we do during this period, not just physical gain, but also, sorry, not just material gain, but also in general, moral gains will also be very high during this period. And obviously, there is a lot of restlessness because of Mars and Ketu, and because of the relationship, challenges or issues that we have, and primarily because of the tendency to dominate as Leo rising natives. And with Sun in the 11th house, we may be dominating both, psychologically and also verbally. And with Mars in the first house, it's very easy for us to kind of let out words in a very harsh manner, and we could also kind of end up detaching from people because of Ketu in the first house, and that could potentially be out of anger because of Mars Ketu conjunction. So try to tone down your anger, and because anger is not the solution, and also ending of any form of relationship is not a solution. If someone is not working out for you, that's fine, but don't make a conclusive decision when you are impulsive, nervous, anger, or sad, because you will go through all these emotional uh, fluctuations during this period. And it is very important for you to kind of not detach or kind of ghost anyone at this point. And also with Ketu in the first house, you can kind of focus on spirituality, and you do a lot of steps to kind of get into this journey of self discovery, to kind of help over a period of time. With Rahu and Ketu in the 1-7 axis, self discovery is a lot more important for you to kind of understand more about yourself. We all kind of keep exploring ourselves and try to understand our own inner self in terms of how we react to the external circumstances, and that is something that we need to be very mindful and also do very consciously during this time. So Yeah, I think that's all I had for Gemini. Sun Gemini for Leo.
Yeah, Sun in Gemini is definitely very positive because it is going to give you gains. It is in trying to Rahu also. So, material gains, relationships, promotion in case you're looking for one. This can also bring about some influential people in your life, influential friends, crypto, tech, sudden gains in money is also possible. Avoid risky sport activity. And Mars and Ketu are there in the first house. You can, maybe there is a surgical process that you have to go through. I always tell in my videos that whenever Mars and Ketu are there in the first house, you can have some surgery in that particular area which they are. So it can bring about surgery in your stomach region or headache. If you're having any headaches, so you can be looking, because it's a Leo sign after all, ruled by Sun. So take care of your headaches. Don't be too arrogant. It might just bring about that isolation in you. So grow spiritually. Whenever you are isolating yourself from the world, you're cutting off from the world, it doesn't only mean that you're depressed. You can just focus on your spiritual growth also, no? You can work on your helping others silently, remotely, or maybe, behind the scenes. You can work and you can upgrade yourself. Read those scriptures. Okay. Be more creative. Do something very creative. Learn a language, learn a sports activity, but also be mindful of your thought process, because you know what, be mindful of your rationality about your speech, because it can bring about issues in your relationship. You were thinking of a growth at the workplace, and you were expecting some kind of promotion, honor, fame, but you did not get it. So it can make you very aggressive also. But with this Mars in the Lagna, you are going to be really very, very powerful right now. You're going to be very, you're going to be very ambitious. It brings about that ambition in you, that courage in you. You want to do things which are unfinished till now. That's a very good thing. But Ketu is also there, no? So Ketu is, maybe you have to start from scratch, everything. So don't get irritated or don't get too vulnerable in whatever you're doing. Don't self-pity too much during this time period. Sun here is definitely going to give you you will be successful. You'll be really, getting the kind of help from and support from the people you did not even expect. So it's a good time. Take care of your feet region also, because Mars is looking at Ketu. So bones, feet, you get issues, some kind of troubles you do get. So that is something you have to be cautious about. And in case you have to remove that body part from your body, just do it, because right now Mars and Ketu are there. So the blood loss will be there. So it's better that you do it yourself. I always say it's a remedy only. In case it's a surgical process, always remember it is for your good. Venus is also transiting the 10th Lord in the 9th house. It is good for your relationship, interpersonal relationship at the workplace. And also it can bring about some changes in your job, profession, career also. So you will be enhancing and upgrading your knowledge, and you're going to be doing some things out of the box also. Saturn is in the 8th house for you for the next 2 years, 2.5 years. It's going to be there. 6th Lord in the 8th house is a sort of a Viprit Raja Yoga. So you will have to go through some hurdles and issues at the workplace, in your marriage, and in your married life, and then you will ultimately get successful. And that verdict or that kind of litigation or any kind of health issues that you have been going through till now, you will get out of it also. Saturn in the 8th house is not bad, but for Leo natives especially, it's said that when Saturn is in the 8th house, Saturn in the 8th house gives you good life, good healthy life. But being the ruler of your 6th and the 7th house, it will bring about, if you are in the business, will bring about downfall in business. If you are married, it will give you isolation in marriage. It can give you separation in marriage. But at the same time, being Saturn, the ruler of your 6th and the 7th, you need to focus more on your health right now. Don't worry about the external forces or external material things. Saturn is not a materialistic planet any which ways. Okay. So do it, and definitely you will be fine. We are not going to be discussing the crash. I don't think so. It is required, or it is sensitive to discuss all those incidents right now, though I have been harping on these things when Mars Ketu transited, when Jupiter went Combust, and Jupiter and um, Rahu nakshatra exchange also was already explained that there can be some lack of grace, lack of divinity, lack of. So it's like, I feel that it is not lack of divinity. It's like, if some mishap happens, it's mass killings happen, mass deaths happen. It's like they are going to get emancipated. They are going to be getting out of the life and death cycle. If there is a sudden death or sudden, they will not even know what happened. Something just suddenly happened and they just were taken. So that is something I feel. I could be wrong. These are all what we have been taught, on the uh, study level, when we were studying. So we were taught about all these things. Anyhow, have a great sun's ingress in the 11th house. Follow the remedies that I've given in the beginning part, because sun will be forming a close conjunction with Jupiter also. Jupiter is your eighth lord, so it is getting combust, is positive for you. So make till the 9th of July, it's good for you. Rather, it's minus minus plus, but not good for children, not good for your not good for children, and not good for starting some new education plan also. Traveling, I would say that if you want to travel, Mars and Ketu are in your Lagna. So it's better that you, if it's not very essential, avoid. Okay, because Mars Ketu conjunction is also blood loss. So be careful about it, I would say. Coming to the next one, that is Virgo.
So for Virgo rising natives, we have again another very good placement. I think Virgo rising natives are enjoying the best this time with the sun in the 10th house, and lot of the first house Mercury is also placed with domicile dignity in the 10th house, and Jupiter is also placed in the 10th house. So it's a very powerful placement. There is a lot of scope for elevation in your career. Status is going to increase and you will be very authoritative, and what you do for work or what you do at home will be very visible for people, and people will start appreciating you for your efforts. So, and sun, it's also a natural significator of fame. So there is a every chance, if you're already kind of doing something very big, so now is the time where you might be recognized, or maybe you get some little fame for that, and for the kind of excellence that you have shown in whatever you are doing. So that is one of those important things with sun in the 10th house, and Jupiter is placed in the 10th house. So Jupiter adds the quotient of benevolence, and it is good that Jupiter is combust, because for mutable signs, the lord of the 7th house can cause obstruction, and Jupiter going combust because of the sun is actually a good thing, and it's not a bad thing. So if you are kind of doing things in a very straightforward manner and in a legal manner, there is no problem for you. There is no issues that will come, or there won't be any hindrances as it is. So anyway, you will be visible during this period, and you will have a lot of scope for networking with people, and you will get in touch with a lot of administrative people who are in higher levels, or people who are in administrative positions, because Phaladipika, one of the classical texts, says that the person who has the sun in the 10th house, he will be equal to a king. So now is the time where you kind of consolidate yourself or your position and try to kind of be like a king, and do whatever you can to kind of be successful in what you do. And one of those pitfalls is that Mars with Ketu in the 12th house, and don't involve in any kind of expenditure during this period. Try to be very mindful about how you spend your money, and don't have any secrets during this period. Try to be very straightforward, loyal, and truthful, because secrets might bring some kind of challenges in the future, and it might intensify some kind of isolation, or maybe some form of problems that you have to go through because of the secrets that we have. So do not involve in any kind of an illegal or immoral matters. Overall, I think 12th house, be very careful about your health. Like there will be scope for some hospital expenses because 12th house indicates hospital and hospitalization. Try to kind of take care of yourself and be safe in your journey. Uh, and yeah, overall, I think you will be very good with your, what you say. Uh, like, Gemini 10th house, your communication at work is going to be amazing. And if you want to teach something, I think this is a very good time. And if you're a teacher and if you want to launch a new course, or if you're thinking about, teaching somewhere, this is a very good time because Jupiter and Mercury are in the 10th house, and Sun will bring that authority or the ability in us. It brings us outside for us to kind of shine in teaching environment. If you are part of some kind of a government administration or something like that, this is going to be a very fruitful period for you. And just be truthful even in your communication and focus on dharma, and that is how you lead people to kind of perform their own karma. So you will kind of get support from your superiors or social circles, pretty sure, and there is no doubt about it, because moon is placed in the fifth house, and it indicates natural creative self-expression, and you have a lot of support during this period. And challenges are that obviously the natural sun in the 10th house challenges where ego clashes, and sometimes in terms of being authoritative we tend to be a little arrogant, which might pose as a challenge. And with Jupiter and Sun Mercury combination and Sun kind of overpowering this particular 10th house, there is chance that we get over optimistic and we start over expansive thought processes, and especially over expansion in our careers. So don't take more than what you can do, and that is a lesson now. And be very sure about how much you can handle, and only take how much you can deliver. So scholarship, Mercury in the 10th house with Jupiter, scholarship is one of the themes which you will shine. What if you're writing something, or if you're doing something at work, try to be a scholar in the sense you don't need to do a PhD, but try to be perfect in what you do. And with Virgo rising natives, perfectionism is always your trait, and you just need to kind of push that forward and try to achieve your results. So overall, I think this is a reasonably decent period if you kind of do the right things, because this is one of the best periods for you in this year, with Sun in the 10th house and Mercury also in the 10th house with domicile strength in Gemini. So consolidate and focus on this period, and utilize a very fine combination for your success. Uh, yeah.
Okay, great. See, Mercury is also there. Lagnesh is in the 10th house,
Yeah.
conjunct Sun, Jupiter, and Sun is going to be in for another month in the sign of Gemini. So this is good for starting an education program. If you want to enhance yourself, upskill yourself, because because of your lack of knowledge, it can bring about lack of rewards. So it is directly proportional, and as it is, Jupiter is also combust, no? So it is good if you can just simply learn something new. If you want to travel, if you want to go for completing your tasks, and you will have fame, name, everything. Now you will be having that capacity to donate also, because donating is not just the monetary or anything like servitude attitude. It is good for your relationship with your co-workers also. You're trying to help them, making leaders out of leaders. So that is something which you will be focusing more on. You might just purchase new dress, new jewelry during this time period. You might just connect with VIPs, going on parties, attending parties, and functions. Sun is in the 10th house, Digbali also, and Gemini is communication. So you are at par. You're the authority when Sun is in the 10th house. So good time to take on leadership roles. You might just be getting into that you know micromanaging now. So this is something which is very positive for you, and it is also good for the ego clashes that you are having, if you can just reconcile right now. So that is something which you have to plan, and you have to do things in a natural way, actually, and things will definitely be positive. Okay, Ashwin, I need to end this session here because I just got the news that my dad is unwell and he's hospitalized.
Sorry.
So yeah, so I'm so sorry, everyone. I need to go. He's in the ICU. So this is the news which has just come in, and that Ketu and we were just discussing, and Ketu and Mars are in the Leo sign, and sorry about this, everyone. I will definitely be completing this session. I'm so sorry. And I wish I could help you all with the rest of the readings. So Ashwin, we'll reconnect as soon as I know everything is okay.
Yeah, please take care.
Yeah, thank you. Take care, everyone.
Yes.
Stay blessed. That's it.